Hello again, whiskey friends. Welcome back to the lounge. It's Kelsey. Today I've got an exciting one that has kind of broke my top five for so far this year on whiskeys 2023. Let me re-say that. The best whiskeys I've tasted for 2023 thus far. How about that? That's a little bit better. Guys, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We are going to jump into this little beauty. Nashville Barrel Company's Founders 14. It is an 8-year stated whiskey from MGP, barreled and aged at Nashville Barrel Company. So let's jump into this one. Let's see how this stacks up. Welcome back, whiskey friends. If you're new to the channel, please make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Here at our channel, there's three of us that do reviews. I, Darrell, and Jeff all do reviews for these. So we're going to jump into this one. This particular bottle made my top five whiskeys so far for 2023. I kind of took a chance on this, not knowing much about the bottle, other than it was MGP, and that it was in a Kelvin barrel. My experience has been that Kelvin is probably one of my favorite cooperages. So if I see that it's releasing something in a Kelvin barrel, I'm pretty interested in it. It was a little bit more expensive, but I rolled the dice on this one. So let's get the stats on this. Again, this is called the Founders 14, but it's actually an 8-year whiskey. The story on this one is that they got these barrels back in 2019, sat on these when COVID hit, and then wanted to do something kind of a special release. So that's what this is. It's a limited edition release. If you guys haven't got on their mailing emails, make sure to do so. These guys are putting out some really great whiskey. It is 127.42 Kelvin barrel number one. Again, distilled MGP juice. And let's jump into the nose of this sucker. I'm really like this one. One of the things that I do love about Kelvin barrels is that they typically have a darker profile, at least the ones that I know that are Kelvin barrels. Right off the nose, you get this real dark fruit, brown sugar, and a sweet dark oak. It actually makes me think it's aged longer than it was. I mean, it comes across more like a 10 to 12-year-old whiskey. So, yeah, even going back in for a second time, this thing sweetens up the longer it gets oxidation to it. So for anybody that's new, that doesn't let their whiskey set out before they drink it, that's something you can try. What I tend to do when I get a new bottle is I open it, pour it out, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and 20 minutes. And I kind of document, especially the very first time I drink it, like what are the characteristics at 5? What are the characteristics at 10? And so on. It just helps me understand the whiskey better, but also what is the best time to drink that particular whiskey. On our pick, for instance, that I did for at Blue Note, it needed at least 20 minutes of air, if not more. Especially fresh crack out of the bottle. It needs that time of air because that was a really short barrel. Everything's concentrated. It needs a lot of oxidation time to really open up to get what the whiskey's truly going to taste like. So just a little tip, if you guys aren't doing that, give it a try and let me know. Make some comments below. See if you guys do that. And if it changes your experience, if it doesn't, tell them I'm full of you know what. But just let us know, man. We'd love to hear back from you. I'd love to hear comments. So yeah, this is opening up. It's getting a little bit some sweeter on the nose, but all of those same notes, brown sugar, molasses, even a little bit. So let's get in for the taste. Let's go. Cheers to you guys. So this one's changed a little bit. As you can see, I kind of put a hurting on it. When I first got it, shared a bunch with everybody else to try it. That's what whiskey's about, sharing, making memories. But on the first sip, Oh my God, this is viscous. So it just envelops your mouth. I mean, huge, great mouthfeel. It's got a lot of proof. It drinks every bit of its proof. That's why I say to let it air out for a little bit and get down to some of these flavors. Brown sugar, the fruit notes come through, but man, this thing's got a real sweet, rich oak oiliness to it that some of these others that are actually age stated older don't get. I don't know what they're doing over at Kelvin, but they're definitely doing something right. Let's go in for the mid palate and see how this thing kind of stacks up. That's odd. So, second sip, pretty much consistent, but then at the very back, there's just this hint. I mean, an absolute very small hint of nut note, which is odd for MGP. So, could be just my palate this today, but I'm going to rinse before I do the finish and see if it helps. Let's go back in here for the finish, guys. Cheers to everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, that peanut note's gone. It could just be a fluke. Anyway, it envelops the whole palate from front to back. It's sweet, a little sweet up front, but mid palate, man, all of that sweet oak, darkness. It's still sweet. It's not bitter at all. There's nothing off-putting about it. So this one, man, this was why it made my top 5. It's so good. Let's look at it and see how it scored. It scored really high. Everything was a 90 across the board on this, from flavor, experience, and value. If you're new to the channel, we have weighted scores out of 100 based on different aspects, and we fill out a form because Jeff's a nerd and loves all of the data. But it's really helpful overall to kind of see where whiskeys are, comparatively scoring to each other. So it's really good for us. Overall, guys, man, this thing is a hitter. 90 is a great whiskey. So, man, if you guys missed out on this one, get on the next one. These things, this MGP becoming 8, 9, 10 years old, are getting better and better. We're seeing more and more of it. So, cheers to you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Like I said, check out the top 10 that I did. This is one of them. And appreciate all of the support that you guys give us. And we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Jeff, just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello again. Oh, Jeffrey, you should just be friends with me. But you have these whiskey friends, and you say hello.